Did your parents value your life? I'm staring at my laptop screen at 2:47 a.m., and the numbers don't lie, even if my parents have been lying to me for the past 4 years. $127,000. That's how much money my parents deposited into what I thought was Maya's college fund over the last 2 years. The same Maya who decided college wasn't for her and has been traveling Europe, taking photography classes in Tuscany, and learning to surf in Costa Rica while I've been surviving on ramen noodles and working double shifts at the campus bookstore. The same Maya whose gap year has now stretched into its 3rd year, funded entirely by what was supposed to be MY college money. I found out by accident. Mom left her laptop open when she went to make coffee this morning, and I saw the bank statement pulled up on her screen. Citizens Bank. Education Fund, Maya Chin. But here's the thing, there were deposits going in, not payments going out for tuition. Big deposits. $3,000 here. $5,500 there. All from the account labeled Education Fund, David Chin. My account. The one that was supposed to have $130,000 in it when I graduated high school. The one Mom said had some complications with the investment firm and would need to be restructured. The one that mysteriously became temporarily unavailable right when I needed to pay my freshman year tuition. I took screenshots of everything before Mom came back. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely tap the screen properly. 4 years of bank statements. Transfer after transfer. My money becoming Maya's money, while I took out loan after loan after loan to pay for the education they promised me they'd already saved for. $89,000. That's what I owe in student loans now. With interest, I'll be paying nearly $140,000 over the next 20 years. For the degree I'm finishing in 3 weeks, because I couldn't afford to stay the full 4 years like a normal student. Meanwhile, Maya just posted Instagram photos from her spiritual journey at some wellness retreat in Bali. The caption reads, "So grateful for parents who support my authentic path." Folded hand sparkles, #blessed, #finding myself, #parental oath. The comments make me want to throw my phone across my dorm room. Aunt Jennifer, your parents raised such a free spirit. Uncle Mike, living the dream, kiddo. Even my own grandmother, what wonderful parents you have, supporting your artistic soul. My artistic soul, apparently, was worth exactly $0. I've been the responsible one since I was 8 years old. I got straight A's while Maya got participation trophies for showing up to soccer practice. I worked summers at Dad's accounting firm filing papers while Maya went to theater camp in the Berkshires. I applied for 17 scholarships my senior year while Maya decided she needed to find herself before making any major life decisions. David's so mature, Mom would tell relatives. He doesn't need as much guidance as Maya does. He's got his head on straight. Translation, David will figure it out on his own, so we can spend our time and money on Maya. But this isn't just about the money anymore. It's about 4 years of thinking I wasn't worth investing in. 4 years of believing them when they said they were proud of me for being so independent, while they handed Maya everything on a silver platter. Maya's graduation party is next Saturday. The whole family will be there to celebrate her finally finishing her bachelor's degree at 24, the one Mom and Dad are paying for in full now that she's found her direction. I have a different kind of graduation gift planned. I spent all of Tuesday digging deeper into their financial records. What I found makes the college fund theft look like pocket change. The family business, Dad's accounting firm that's supposedly struggling and can't afford to give me the job I've been counting on after graduation. They bought a new BMW X7 in February. $73,000. The registration shows it's in Maya's name, but the loan payments come straight from Chen and Associates business account. The same business that Dad said couldn't hire me full-time because overhead costs are just too high right now, son. You understand. I understand perfectly now. There's more. So much more. The family vacation to Hawaii last Christmas that I couldn't afford to join. The one where Mom posted photos of her and Dad and Maya at fancy restaurants while I worked extra shifts at Target to make rent. They spent $14,000 on that trip. The receipts are all filed under business expenses in Dad's QuickBooks. Apparently Maya's surf lessons qualified as client entertainment. Meanwhile, when my laptop died during finals last semester and I asked to borrow $800 to replace it, Dad gave me a lecture about fiscal responsibility and suggested I look into more affordable options. I ended up buying a refurbished piece of junk from 2015 that crashes every time I try to run multiple programs. Maya got a MacBook Pro for her photography business 3 months later. $2,400. The purchase note in Dad's expense tracker says, investment in Maya's artistic development. My artistic development was apparently worth $127 from Facebook Marketplace. I've started a spreadsheet. Every expense, every transfer, every dollar that should have been mine but went to Maya instead. The wellness retreats disguised as educational conferences. The photography equipment labeled as business investments. The monthly $1,200 allowance that shows up in Maya's account as consulting fees from Dad's firm. She's been getting consulting fees. Maya, who once asked me if Alaska was a country, is apparently qualified to consult for a CPA firm to the tune of $14,400 a year. The worst part isn't even the money. It's the phone calls. Every Sunday, Mom calls to check in. How are your studies going, honey? Are you eating enough? You know we worry about you. Last week she asked if I was managing okay financially, and when I mentioned that my student loan payment was going up, she sighed and said, well, that's just the reality of higher education these days. Character building, really. You'll appreciate your degree more because you worked for it. 2 hours later, she Venmo'd Maya $800 with the note, for your art supplies. Keep following your dreams. 2 hearts. Art supplies. Maya doesn't even make art. She takes selfies in front of murals and calls it urban photography. I screenshotted the Venmo notification before Maya's Instagram story disappeared. She'd posted a video of herself at some upscale art store in Portland, buying supplies for what she called her mixed media exploration phase. The basket was full of the most expensive versions of everything, premium watercolors, professional-grade canvases, brushes that cost more than my textbooks. That's when I made the decision. I'm not just exposing this at Maya's party. I'm printing everything. Every bank statement, every transfer, every receipt. I'm making copies for every relative who'll be there, Aunt Jennifer with her comments about Maya being a free spirit, Uncle Mike who thinks she's living the dream, Grandma who gushes about what wonderful parents we have. They can see exactly how wonderful Mom and Dad are when they read the itemized list of how much my parents spent on Maya's authentic path while I accumulated enough debt to buy a house. Maya's party is in 4 days. I've already bought the printer ink. The worst part about being the responsible child is that you become invisible in plain sight. I realized this Wednesday night when I was going through old family photos on Mom's Facebook, looking for evidence of the financial favoritism I could include in my presentation. What I found was somehow worse than the money trail. Maya's 16th birthday party, 47 photos. Professional photographer, rented venue, at least 60 guests. There's Mom and Dad beaming next to a custom cake that probably cost more than my monthly food budget. My 16th birthday, 3 photos. Kitchen table, grocery store cake, just the 4 of us. In one photo, Dad's literally checking his phone while I'm blowing out the candles. I kept scrolling. Maya's high school graduation, 23 photos, including shots of the party at some fancy restaurant downtown. My high school graduation, 5 photos, and in 2 of them Maya's making faces in the background while Mom tells her to smile for your brother's special day. But here's what really got me. In the comments on Maya's graduation photos, Mom wrote, "So proud of our baby girl. This is what pure joy looks like." Smiling face with heart eyes red heart. Under my graduation photos. Proud of David for all his hard work. On to the next chapter. Even her pride in me sounds like a performance review. I was about to close Facebook when I saw it. A photo album from last month labeled Maya's Big News that I'd somehow missed. My stomach dropped as I clicked through. Maya standing in front of a brick building with a sold sign, holding keys and grinning. The caption read, "Our little entrepreneur bought her first studio space. Dad says real estate is the best investment. We're so proud of our business-minded daughter." Office building sparkles. I stared at that photo for 10 minutes straight. Then I opened a new browser tab and searched the address visible in the background. 1247, Morrison Street, Unit 12. Sold March 15th for $67,000. I found the property records. The buyer listed was Maya Chen. But when I cross-referenced it with Dad's business accounts, because apparently I've become a forensic accountant in my spare time, there it was. A $67,000 withdrawal from Chen and Associates on March 12th. The memo line read, "Equipment purchase. Maya owns real estate now. A photography studio that she'll probably use twice before deciding she wants to explore other creative outlets. I own nothing except debt." I called Maya directly. I couldn't help myself. "Hey stranger," she answered, all sunshine and enthusiasm. "What's up? Are you excited for my party? Mom's going completely overboard with the decorations." "I saw the photos of your studio," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Congratulations." "Oh my god, right? I can't believe I'm a property owner at 24. Dad says I have really good instincts for investment opportunities. He thinks the space will appreciate in value, so even if the photography thing doesn't work out, I can always sell it for more later." "The photography thing? Like it's just another hobby she'll abandon when she gets bored." That's great, Maya. How did you manage to save up for it?" She laughed. "Save up? David, you're so old-fashioned. Dad says successful people use leverage and family resources to build wealth. Why struggle to save money slowly when you can make strategic investments immediately?" "Strategic investments? Is that what they're calling it? Besides," she continued, "Dad says it's technically a business expense since I'll be using it for commercial photography. Tax write-off or something. You know how smart he is with money." "Smart with money? The man who told me he couldn't afford to hire me because of overhead costs just bought his daughter a $67,000 studio as a tax write-off. David? You there?" "Yeah, I'm here. You should come see it before the party. I'm thinking of having a little pre-celebration there Friday night. Just close family. Mom's bringing champagne. Close family. Maya, Mom, Dad, and probably Grandma. The same grandmother who told me last month that young people today expect everything handed to them when I mentioned my student loans. I'll think about it," I lied. After I hung up, I added the studio purchase to my spreadsheet. The running total of money that should have been mine but went to Maya instead is now $194,000. Maya's party is in 3 days, and I just realized something. I don't just want them to know what they did to me. I want it to hurt. Thursday afternoon, I'm sitting in Professor Martinez's office pretending to discuss my senior thesis when my phone buzzes with a text from Mom. "Honey, could you pick up the flowers for Maya's party tomorrow? The florist is near your campus. I'll Venmo you the money right back. Okay." I stare at the message. She wants me to pick up decorations for the party where I'm planning to destroy our family. The irony is so thick I almost laugh out loud. "Everything okay, David?" Professor Martinez asks, noticing my expression. "Just family stuff," I say, then make a decision that surprises even me. "Actually, can I ask you something? Hypothetically, if someone discovered their parents had been stealing from them for years, what would you do?" He leans back in his chair. Professor Martinez has always been straight with me. He's the one who helped me figure out how to graduate early when I couldn't afford another full year. "Stealing is a strong word," he says carefully. "What if it wasn't hypothetical?" I find myself telling him everything. The college fund, Maya's endless expenses, the studio, all of it. He listens without interrupting, his expression growing more concerned with each detail. When I finish, he's quiet for a long moment. "David, have you considered that publicly confronting them might not give you what you're really looking for?" "What do you mean?" "You want acknowledgement. Validation. An apology. But people who've been justifying this behavior to themselves for years, they're not going to suddenly see the light because you embarrass them in front of relatives." He's probably right, but I'm too far gone to care. So I should just let it go. Pretend it never happened. I didn't say that. I'm saying you might want to think about what outcome would actually help you heal. After I leave his office, I drive to the florist anyway. It's a high-end place downtown, of course it is. The order is under Mom's name, 3 elaborate centerpieces and something called a graduation arch decorated with white roses and gold ribbon. That'll be $340, the florist says cheerfully. $340. For flowers that will die in a week. I spent $340 on groceries for an entire semester. I'm loading the arrangements into my car when I see her. Maya, walking out of the salon 2 doors down with freshly highlighted hair, carrying shopping bags from 3 different boutiques. She spots me and waves. David. What are you doing here? I gesture to the flowers. Mom asked me to pick these up. Oh, you're the best. I was supposed to do it, but I got totally distracted getting ready for tomorrow. She does a little spin, showing off her new look. Do you like it? I wanted something special for the photos. It looks great, I manage. Want to grab coffee? I feel like we never talk anymore. 20 minutes later, we're sitting in some overpriced cafe, and Maya's telling me about her latest plans. The studio is just the beginning, apparently. She's thinking about starting a lifestyle blog, maybe launching an online course about finding your authentic creative path. Dad thinks I could really build a brand around it, she says, stirring oat milk into her $7 latte. He's already talking to someone about helping me set up an LLC. That's ambitious. I know, right? It's crazy how everything's just falling into place. Like, I was so worried when I decided not to do college right away, but Mom and Dad were so supportive. They kept saying the right opportunities would come when I was ready for them. The right opportunities. Like having your brother's college fund to fall back on. They really believe in following your dreams, Maya continues. Mom always says she wishes she'd been braver when she was young, taken more risks. She doesn't want us to have any regrets. Us. As if we've both been equally supported in our risk-taking. What about you? Maya asks suddenly. Any big plans after graduation? I feel bad that you've been so stressed about money and everything. She feels bad. Like my financial situation is just bad luck, completely unrelated to her lifestyle. I'll figure it out, I say. You always do. You're so responsible, David. I really admire that about you. She admires my responsibility. The same responsibility that made me invisible while she got everything she ever wanted. I pay for both our coffees, another $14 I can't really afford, and drive Maya back to her studio so she can show it off. It's beautiful, obviously. High ceilings, huge windows, gleaming hardwood floors. She's already had it painted and bought thousands of dollars worth of equipment that's still in boxes. I'm thinking of hiring an interior designer, she says casually. You know, to really make it feel cohesive. An interior designer. For a space she might abandon in 6 months. Maya's party is tomorrow night, and watching her plan her future with my money has only strengthened my resolve. Professor Martinez was wrong about one thing, though. I'm not doing this just for acknowledgement anymore. I'm doing it because someone needs to say it out loud. What they did to me was wrong, and Maya needs to know exactly what her dreams cost. Friday evening, I'm standing in my childhood bedroom holding the printed copies of everything, bank statements, receipts, transfer records, property documents. 47 pages of evidence that my parents systematically chose Maya over me for years. Tomorrow's party starts at 2 p.m., and I've organized it all into neat folders, one for each family member who'll be there. That's when I hear voices downstairs. Maya's laugh, followed by Dad's booming voice, there's our little mogul. I creep to the top of the stairs and listen. They're having the close family celebration Maya mentioned. The pre-party at her studio apparently moved to our house instead. Through the banister, I can see Mom setting out champagne flutes while Dad opens what looks like an expensive bottle. We have something for you, sweetheart, Mom says, and I hear the rustle of gift wrap. I should go back to my room. I should focus on tomorrow's plan. Instead, I find myself sitting on the top step, listening to my sister's life get handed to her on another silver platter. Oh my god, you guys didn't have to, Maya's voice cuts off in a squeal. Are you serious right now? Read it out loud, Dad says, and I can hear the pride in his voice. That tone he's never used when talking about my accomplishments. To Maya Chin, Maya reads, her voice shaking with excitement. Congratulations on your graduation and the launch of Chin Creative Studios. We're so proud of the woman you've become and the artist you're becoming. This check is to help you hire that interior designer and really make your vision come to life. Love, Mom and Dad. There's a pause, then Maya's voice again, barely a whisper, $15,000. My hand grips the banister so hard my knuckles go white. $15,000. For interior design. For a studio she might not even use. Dad, I can't accept this, Maya says, but she's crying now, those happy tears that mean she absolutely can accept it. Nonsense, Dad replies. It's an investment in your future. Besides, business has been good this year. We want to see you succeed. Business has been good. The same business that couldn't afford to hire me because of overhead costs. Where's David? Maya asks suddenly. Shouldn't he be here for this? Oh, you know your brother, Mom says with a dismissive laugh. He's probably studying or working on something. He gets so focused on his projects. His projects. Like their hobbies instead of the desperate scrambling of someone trying to build a future without any family support. We should include him more, Maya says, and for a second I think maybe she actually gets it. I feel like he's been distant lately. Stressed about graduation and everything. David's fine, Dad says firmly. He's always been independent. Some kids need more guidance, others figure it out on their own. David's a figure-outer. A figure-outer. That's what I am. The kid who figures it out alone while they pour money into Maya's dreams. Still, Maya persists, maybe we could help him out somehow. I know he's worried about his loans. Maya, honey, Mom's voice takes on that patient tone she uses when she thinks someone's being naive. David made the choice to take on debt for his education. We offered to co-sign his loans, remember? We've supported him in our own way. They offered to co-sign. After they'd already stolen my college fund. Like agreeing to let me bury myself deeper in debt was some kind of generous gesture. Your brother's situation is different, Dad adds. He chose a practical major, he'll have a steady income. He doesn't need the same kind of support you do as an artist. I chose a practical major because I had to. Because I couldn't afford to take risks when I was already drowning in debt. Maya gets to be an artist because she has a safety net made of my money. Now, Mom says, clearly changing the subject, let's talk about tomorrow. I want everything perfect for our graduate. I creep back to my room and add the $15,000 gift to my spreadsheet. The total is now $209,000. Over $200,000 that they've spent on Maya while I worked double shifts and ate ramen for dinner. But it's not just about the money anymore. It's about the way Dad's voice changes when he talks about Maya's future versus mine. It's about Mom dismissing my struggles as character building while celebrating Maya's every whim. It's about being called independent and a figure-outer, like those are compliments instead of evidence of neglect. Tomorrow, when the whole family is gathered to celebrate Maya's achievement, they're going to learn exactly what independence costs when your parents decide you're not worth investing in. I'm not just bringing the financial records anymore. I'm bringing receipts for 22 years of being the invisible child. Saturday morning, 6:43 a.m. I'm awake before my alarm, staring at the ceiling of my childhood bedroom while Maya's laughter echoes from downstairs. She stayed over last night, and now she's probably having breakfast with Mom and Dad, soaking up more attention before her big day. The folders are lined up on my desk like soldiers ready for battle. Each one contains a complete financial breakdown of how much Maya has cost them versus how much they've invested in me. The numbers don't lie, $209,000 to $0. But as I flip through the pages one more time, I realize I missed something. I grab my laptop and log into Dad's business account again. There's a new transaction from yesterday that wasn't there before. A $3,500 payment to Morrison Catering Services with the memo line Maya graduation celebration. $3,500. For one party. I spent $47 on groceries last week and felt guilty about it. But that's not what makes me freeze. It's the email I find in Dad's sent folder, timestamped yesterday at 11:23 p.m. Hi Tom, Dad wrote to someone named Tom Brennan. Thanks for considering David for the junior analyst position. Unfortunately, I think we'll pass for now. David's a great kid, but he lacks the creative problem-solving skills we need for client-facing roles. You know how it is, some people are born entrepreneurs, others are better suited for traditional employment. Maybe try the Henderson Group. They might be a better fit. Best, Richard. Tom Brennan. I googled the name with shaking hands. Senior partner at Brennan & Associates, one of the biggest accounting firms in the state. They never posted the junior analyst position publicly, it was the kind of job you only heard about through connections. Dad killed my job opportunity. He told someone I lack creative problem-solving skills and suggested they hire me somewhere else. The same dad who spent 15 minutes at dinner last month telling Maya she had natural business instincts after she suggested he needed a better website. I scrolled through more of his emails, my stomach churning. There are 3 other messages to different firms from the past 2 months. All polite, professional rejections of their interest in hiring me. All painting me as competent but unremarkable, better suited for entry-level positions at larger firms instead of the specialized roles I actually want. He's been sabotaging me. Actively, deliberately sabotaging my career before it even starts. The worst part. In one email to a firm in Portland, he wrote, David's a good worker, but he doesn't have Maya's entrepreneurial spark. She's the one with real vision in our family. Maya's entrepreneurial spark. The girl who once tried to start a business selling friendship bracelets and quit after 2 days because marketing is harder than I thought. I screenshot everything and added to my presentation. This isn't just about money anymore, it's about Dad systematically destroying my professional prospects while building Maya's career with my college fund. At 9:15, Mom knocks on my door. David? Honey, could you run to the store? We forgot ice for tonight, and Maya's having a moment about her speech. Maya's having a moment. Of course she is. And of course I'm the one who has to fix it. Also, Mom continues through the door, Maya was wondering if you'd introduce her tonight. She wrote something really beautiful about family support, and she thinks it would mean more coming from her big brother. She wants me to introduce her. At the party where I'm planning to expose how much our parents have stolen from me to fund her lifestyle. She wants me to stand up in front of everyone and talk about family support. I'll think about it, I call back. Thanks, sweetie. You're such a good brother. A good brother. The same good brother whose career prospects Dad has been quietly destroying behind the scenes. Maya's party starts in 4 hours, and I just realized something that changes everything. This isn't just about getting acknowledgement or making them feel guilty. This is about survival. If I don't speak up now, Dad will keep sabotaging me while funding Maya's dreams. I'll spend the next decade fighting uphill battles I don't even know he's creating while she continues getting every advantage my money can buy. The folders are ready. The presentation is loaded on my laptop. And now I have 47 pages of proof that my parents didn't just neglect me, they actively chose to destroy my future to build hers. 4 hours until Maya learns what her dreams actually cost. Saturday, 12:30 p.m. 30 minutes before Maya's party starts, and I'm sitting in my car in the driveway, watching relatives arrive through my rearview mirror. Aunt Jennifer just pulled up in her Tesla, carrying a gift bag that probably cost more than my textbooks. Uncle Mike's walking up the front steps with his wife Sarah, both of them dressed like they're attending a wedding instead of a backyard graduation party. My phone buzzes. A text from Maya, where are you? People are asking for you. Mom's freaking out about the ice situation. The ice situation. Right. The errand I was supposed to run 3 hours ago before I discovered Dad's latest betrayal. I never went to the store. I've been driving around town instead, practicing what I'm going to say and adding final touches to my presentation. I text back, getting the ice now. Be there soon. But I don't drive to the store. I drive to Maya's studio instead. I need to see it one more time before I burn everything down. I need to stand in a space that cost $67,000 of my money and remember why I'm doing this. The key is hidden under a fake rock by the door. Maya posted about it in her Instagram story yesterday because apparently operational security isn't part of her entrepreneurial spark. The studio looks even more expensive in the afternoon light streaming through those huge windows. She's added more equipment since I was here yesterday, a professional backdrop system, lighting rigs, a computer setup that probably cost more than my car. There's a vision board on the wall covered with magazine cutouts and inspirational quotes. Follow your dreams. Trust the process. Invest in yourself. In the center is a photo of Maya with mom and dad at some fancy restaurant, all of them raising champagne glasses. The caption underneath reads, "My support system," in Maya's loopy handwriting. Her support system. Built entirely on money that was supposed to be mine. I'm about to leave when I notice something I missed before. A stack of invoices on the desk, held down by an expensive-looking paperweight. The top one is from Portland Design Collective for $8,400. The work description says, initial design consultation and space planning for Chin Creative Studios. $8,400. For a consultation. She hasn't even started the actual interior design work yet. I flipped through the other invoices. Website design, $3,200. Logo development, $1,800. Social media brand package, $2,100. She spent over $15,000 just on planning to maybe start a business someday. The last invoice is dated yesterday. Morrison Gallery Space Rental, June through August 2024, $4,500. She's renting gallery space for a photography exhibition. For photos she hasn't taken yet, with equipment she just bought, in a studio she's still designing. I take pictures of all the invoices and add them to my phone. The total amount Maya has cost our parents is now $225,900. Over $250,000. My phone starts buzzing with calls from mom. I let them go to voicemail and drive back to the house. The backyard is transformed when I arrive. White tablecloths, those expensive centerpieces I picked up yesterday, and a banner that reads, "Congratulations Maya, class of 2024, in gold letters. There are at least 40 people here, extended family, family friends, neighbors, even some of Maya's high school teachers. Everyone's dressed up. Everyone brought gifts. Everyone's here to celebrate Maya's achievement and hear about her bright future. Dad spots me first. "David. There you are. Did you get the ice?" "It's in the car," I lie. "I'll get it in a minute." "Great. Maya wants to do her speech in about 20 minutes. You're still introducing her, right?" I look across the yard and see Maya holding court near the dessert table, telling some story that has everyone laughing. She's wearing a white sundress that probably cost more than my rent, and she's literally glowing with happiness. In 20 minutes, I'm going to destroy that happiness forever. "Yeah, Dad. I'll introduce her." Saturday, 1:47 p.m. I'm standing behind the makeshift podium Dad set up near the back fence, my laptop balanced on a TV tray next to a microphone borrowed from Uncle Mike's karaoke setup. The folders are stacked beside me, 47 pages of evidence that nobody knows is coming. Maya just finished mingling and took her spot in the front row, beaming up at me with complete trust. Mom and Dad are standing behind her, Dad's phone already out to record what he thinks will be a heartwarming brotherly tribute. "Thank you all for being here today," I begin, my voice steadier than I expected. When Mom asked me to introduce Maya, I thought a lot about what I wanted to say about family support. Aunt Jennifer nods approvingly from the third row. Uncle Mike gives me a thumbs up. Maya's high school English teacher, Mrs. Patterson, is already tearing up because she always cries at graduation speeches. "I've spent a lot of time thinking about what it means to invest in someone's future," I continue, clicking to my first slide. "About what it costs to really believe in your child's dreams." The projector screen shows a simple title, "The True Cost of Supporting Maya's Dreams, A Financial Breakdown, 2020 to 2024. I watch the confusion ripple through the crowd. Maya's smile falters. Dad's phone slowly lowers from recording position. Over the past 4 years, our parents have invested $225,900 in Maya's journey of self-discovery. Let me show you exactly where that money came from. Click. The next slide shows 2 bank account statements side by side. Education Fund, David Chin, and Education Fund, Maya Chin. The first account shows a balance of $0. The second shows deposits totaling $127,000. Maya's face goes completely white. Mom makes a small choking sound. But I'm not looking at them anymore, I'm looking at Grandma, whose expression is shifting from confusion to understanding to something that might be horror. "This represents the college fund my parents saved for 18 years to pay for my education," I say, my voice carrying clearly across the suddenly silent backyard. The fund that became temporarily unavailable when I needed it for tuition, but somehow became very available when Maya needed funding for her travels through Europe and her spiritual awakening in Bali. Click. Maya's Instagram posts fill the screen, the wellness retreat, the photography classes in Tuscany, the surf lessons in Costa Rica. Each one tagged with the cost I found in Dad's expense reports. Spiritual journey to Bali, $4,200. Photography workshop in Italy, $3,800. 6 months of finding herself in Costa Rica, $8,900. Someone in the crowd gasps. I think it's Aunt Sarah, but I don't look away from the screen. But the education fund was just the beginning, I continue. Maya's studio space, purchased in March for $67,000, was funded through Dad's business account as an equipment purchase. Click. The property records appear, showing Maya as owner and the corresponding withdrawal from Chen and Associates. The BMW X7 registered in Maya's name, $73,000, also paid through the business account as a client entertainment expense. Dad steps forward. "David, that's enough." "No, Dad. It's not nearly enough." I click again. "Because while you were investing $250,000 in Maya's authentic path, you were actively sabotaging mine." The next slide shows Dad's email to Tom Brennan, rejecting my job opportunity. Then the other emails, one by one, each rejection printed in black and white for everyone to read. Maya stands up shakily. David, I don't understand. What are you doing? I finally look directly at her. I'm explaining why I'm $89,000 in debt while you own real estate, Maya. I'm showing everyone what your dreams actually cost. The backyard is dead silent except for the sound of Mrs. Patterson crying, though I don't think these are happy tears anymore. I printed copies for everyone, I announce, gesturing to the folders beside me. Bank statements, property records, business expenses, email correspondences. Everything's documented. Uncle Mike steps forward, his face red. David, this is completely inappropriate. This is Maya's day. Maya's day that cost $3,500 just for catering, I interrupt, clicking to the next slide. The same amount I make working double shifts for 2 months at the bookstore. But let me show you my favorite expense. Click. Maya's latest invoice appears on screen, the $8,400 interior design consultation. Maya spent more on a design consultation than I spend on rent for an entire year. For a studio she might abandon when she discovers her next authentic passion. Grandma's voice cuts through the murmur of shocked relatives. Richard, is this true? Dad's jaw tightens. David's taking everything out of context. Business expenses, tax write-offs, he doesn't understand how. I understand perfectly, I cut him off. I understand that when my laptop died during finals, you lectured me about fiscal responsibility and suggested I find more affordable options. 3 months later, you bought Maya a $2,400 MacBook Pro for her photography business. Maya finally finds her voice. David, I never knew about your college fund. I thought Mom and Dad were just being supportive. Supportive? I laugh, but there's no humor in it. Maya, they bought you a BMW and told me they couldn't hire me because of overhead costs. You got a $67,000 studio while I bought textbooks from Facebook Marketplace. Click. The next slide shows our family photos side by side, Maya's elaborate Sweet 16 versus my forgotten birthday dinner. This is what being the responsible child looks like, I continue. Invisible in plain sight. While everyone celebrated Maya's free spirit, I was working summers filing papers at Dad's office for minimum wage. While Maya went to theater camp, I applied for 17 scholarships because I thought we couldn't afford college. Aunt Jennifer looks stricken. Richard, you told us David preferred being independent. Because independent sounds better than abandoned, I say. Because David's a figure-outer sounds better than David doesn't matter enough to invest in. Maya starts crying. I never asked for any of this. I didn't know. But you never questioned it either, did you? I turned to face her directly. Never wondered why everything was so easy for you while I struggled. Never thought it was weird that you got consulting fees from Dad's firm for doing absolutely nothing. David, stop, Mom pleads, stepping closer to the podium. This isn't how we settle family issues. Family issues? My voice rises. Mom, you stole my college fund. Dad sabotaged my career opportunities. You didn't just neglect me, you actively chose to destroy my future to build hers. Click. The final slide appears, a simple comparison chart. David's total family investment, $0. Maya's total family investment, $225,900. Student loan debt, David $89,000, Maya $0. The silence stretches until Mrs. Patterson breaks it. I need to leave. This is heartbreaking. As she gathers her purse, other guests start shifting uncomfortably. Uncle Mike looks like he wants to disappear. Grandma's staring at Dad with an expression I've never seen before. Maya's sobs are getting louder, but I feel nothing. No satisfaction, no guilt, no relief. Just emptiness. The folders are on the gift table, I announce to the crowd. Feel free to take one home. Maya's achievements are definitely worth celebrating, just remember what they cost. I close my laptop and walk toward the house, leaving behind 47 people who finally know the truth. Saturday, 2:23 p.m. I'm sitting in my car in the empty parking lot of a 24-hour diner 3 miles from home, watching missed calls pile up on my phone. 17 from Mom, 9 from Dad, 3 from Maya, and 2 from Grandma. I've listened to exactly 0 voicemails. My hands are still shaking from what I just did. Not from regret, from adrenaline. For the first time in 4 years, I told the truth out loud, and 47 people heard it. The parking lot is almost empty except for a few truckers and what looks like a family road trip gone wrong, kids crying in the back seat while parents argue over a map. Normal people problems. I almost envy them. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This is Uncle Mike. What you did today was unconscionable. Maya is devastated. Your parents are devastated. I hope you're proud of yourself. I screenshot it and add it to a new folder on my phone labeled Aftermath. Uncle Mike, who's been posting about family values on Facebook for years, apparently thinks family values don't include financial transparency. Another text, this one from Aunt Jennifer. David, I don't know what to say. I had no idea. Your grandmother wants to talk to you. Please call her. Then one from a number I don't recognize. This is Tom Brennan. Mike Chin gave me your number. We should talk. Monday, 10 a.m., my office if you're available. Tom Brennan. The job opportunity Dad killed. He was at the party. I remember seeing him near the dessert table during my presentation, his face getting darker with each slide. 3 more texts come in rapid succession. Maya, David, please come back. I'm so sorry. I never knew about your college fund. Please. Mom, honey, we need to talk. This is all a misunderstanding. Come home. Dad, David, what you did today was unforgivable. We'll discuss this privately like adults when you're ready to be rational. Rational. The same word he used when I asked about my college fund freshman year, and he told me I needed to be rational about the investment market complications. I'm about to put my phone away when it rings. Grandma's name appears on the screen, and for some reason I can't ignore, I answer. David, sweetheart, where are you? Safe, I say, which is probably a lie but sounds better than hiding in a Denny's parking lot questioning every decision I've ever made. Good. That's good. Her voice sounds tired. I took one of your folders. I've been reading it for the past hour. She's quiet for so long I think the call dropped. Grandma. I gave your parents $30,000 when you started college, she says finally. They told me it was for your education. Said you'd gotten into a good school but needed help with expenses. My stomach drops. $30,000. I wanted to help my grandson get a good start in life. They showed me your acceptance letter, said how proud they were. Her voice cracks slightly. David, where did that money go? I pull up my spreadsheet, scanning through Maya's expenses from freshman year. The Bali retreat was September 2020. The Italy photography workshop was January 2021. The Costa Rica surf adventure was March 2021. Maya's gap year travels, I say quietly. All of it. Grandma makes a sound that might be a sob or might be pure rage. $30,000. I've been bragging to my bridge club for 4 years about how I helped put my grandson through college. You did help, Grandma. Just, not the grandson you thought. This is unforgivable, she says, her voice getting stronger. David, I want you to know that I had no idea. If I'd known what they were doing. I know. It's not your fault. It absolutely is my fault. I should have given that money directly to you. I should have asked more questions. She pauses. I'm going to make this right. Grandma, you don't need to. I certainly do. You come see me tomorrow afternoon. 2 o'clock. And David? Don't you dare apologize for what you did today. Sometimes the truth needs to be ugly before anyone pays attention. After she hangs up, I sit in my car watching the sunset paint the sky orange and pink. Beautiful, like everything else today that's been wrapped around something terrible. My phone shows 43 missed calls now. Dad's latest voicemail preview reads, David, you've embarrassed this family beyond repair. We need to discuss how you're going to fix this situation immediately. Fix this situation. As if I'm the problem that needs solving. I start my car and drive toward campus instead of home. My dorm room is probably the only place left where I can think clearly about what comes next. Because Maya's party was just the beginning. Saturday, 7:15 p.m. I'm in my dorm room staring at my laptop when I get a call from a number I don't recognize. Against my better judgment, I answer. David? This is Dr. Patricia Vance. I'm Maya's therapist. I sit up straighter. Maya has a therapist. Of course she does. Probably another expense Dad writes off as medical consultation fees. Maya asked me to call you, she continues. She's having a severe panic attack and keeps asking for you. She's at Mercy General's emergency room. My stomach lurches. Is she okay? Physically, yes. Emotionally, she's struggling. She says she needs to talk to you about something important. Something about money she didn't know was yours. I close my eyes. Part of me wants to feel guilty, but the larger part remembers Maya posting about her $400 facial last week while I ate peanut butter sandwiches for 3 days straight. I'll be there in 20 minutes. The ER waiting room smells like disinfectant and desperation. I find Maya curled up in a chair near the vending machines, her graduation dress wrinkled and her makeup completely gone. Mom's sitting next to her, rubbing her back and shooting me poison looks. There's my son, Mom says coldly. The one who destroyed his sister's graduation day. Patricia, Maya says weakly, looking up at me. I need to show you something. She pulls out her phone with shaking hands and opens her banking app. I've been looking at my account since you left. Really looking, for the first time ever. The screen shows her checking account, $47,832.15. Then her savings, $23,446.58. Then something called Maya Future Fund, $89,127.33. $160,000, she whispers. I have $160,000 and I never questioned where it came from. I stare at the numbers. That's almost double what my student loans will cost me with interest. Maya, honey, you're in shock, Mom interjects. David manipulated those numbers to make us look bad. No, Mom. Maya's voice is stronger now. I called the bank. I asked them to explain every deposit over $1,000 for the past 4 years. She swipes to another screen. Look. It's a transaction history going back to 2020. Deposit after deposit, all from Chen and Associates or Richard Chen or Family Transfer, Education Fund David. Education Fund David. They didn't even bother changing the memo lines when they transferred my money to her accounts. The Bali retreat money came from something called David College Emergency Fund, Maya continues, her voice breaking. The studio down payment was labeled David Graduation Gift, redirected. Even the money for my car came from David Future Investment Account. Mom's face has gone completely pale. Maya, sweetie, you're misunderstanding the banking terminology. Mom, stop. Maya looks up at her with something I've never seen in her eyes before, anger. I called Dad's office too. Asked Jennifer in accounting to explain the business expenses. She thought I was calling about tax documents. Jennifer. Dad's bookkeeper. I'd forgotten she even existed. She told me everything, Mom. Every fake consulting fee, every made-up business expense. She said she's been worried about the IRS auditing us because none of my work was documented properly. Maya turns back to me, tears streaming down her face. David, I've been committing tax fraud. For 4 years. Dad's been writing off my entire life as business expenses, and I never questioned it because I trusted them. The pieces click into place. Dad hasn't just been stealing from me and lying to the family, he's been committing federal crimes and using Maya as an unwitting accomplice. There's more, Maya whispers, showing me another screen. The studio isn't just in my name for tax reasons. It's because Dad's been hiding assets. Jennifer said something about protecting business resources from potential liability issues. Potential liability issues. My hand starts shaking as I realize what this means. Dad's accounting firm is in trouble. Real trouble. And he's been using Maya's name to hide money and assets while bleeding my college fund dry to keep everything afloat. Maya, I say quietly, we need to call someone. A lawyer, maybe the IRS. This isn't just about college money anymore. She nods, wiping her nose with her sleeve. I know. Jennifer said she's been keeping copies of everything in case she ever needs to protect herself. Mom stands up abruptly. I need to call your father. Right now. As she walks away with her phone pressed to her ear, Maya grabs my hand. David, I'm so sorry. I really didn't know. And now I think we're both screwed. Outside the ER windows, I can see Mom pacing frantically, probably warning Dad that their house of cards is about to collapse. Maya's right. We're both screwed now. But at least this time, we're screwed together. Sunday, 8:42 a.m. I'm sitting in Grandma's kitchen drinking coffee that's strong enough to wake the dead, while she spreads every document from my folder across her dining table like she's preparing for war. Jennifer Martinez called me an hour ago, Grandma says without looking up from the bank statements. Your father's bookkeeper. Apparently your mother spent half the night calling everyone who was at that party, trying to do damage control. I nearly choke on my coffee. Dad's bookkeeper called you? Jennifer's been doing my taxes for 15 years, David. She's also been worried sick about what your father's been making her document. Grandma pulls out a manila envelope I haven't seen before. She dropped this off at 6 this morning. Said she couldn't sleep knowing what she's helped cover up. The envelope contains photocopies of business records going back 3 years. Page after page of fabricated expenses, fake consulting fees, and asset transfers that make my stomach churn. But it's the handwritten note clipped to the front that makes my hands shake. Mrs. Chen, I've been keeping personal copies of everything because I was scared. David's college fund wasn't the only account Mr. Chen emptied. There are 6 other families involved, all clients who trusted him with education investments. I think he's been running a Ponzi scheme. I'm meeting with the FBI tomorrow morning. I thought David should know before this gets bigger. Jennifer. 6 other families. I whisper, staring at the note. Jennifer estimates he's stolen close to $800,000 over the past 4 years, Grandma says grimly. Your money, their money, probably some business accounts too. Maya's studio and car weren't just bought with your college fund, David. They were bought with money stolen from half the neighborhood. My phone starts buzzing. A call from Maya, who's been staying at her friend Rachel's house since the hospital yesterday. I put it on speaker. David, you need to get somewhere safe, Maya says without preamble. Dad's been calling me nonstop since 5 a.m. He wants to meet with both of us today to discuss a family solution before things get out of hand with outside parties. What kind of solution? Grandma asks, leaning closer to the phone. He keeps saying we can restructure everything privately and that David's presentation yesterday was just a misunderstanding between siblings. But David, I think he knows about Jennifer. He asked me weird questions about whether I've talked to anyone from his office. I look at Grandma, who's already reaching for her landline. Maya, stay where you are. Don't meet with Dad alone. There's something else, Maya continues, her voice dropping. Rachel's dad is Kevin Morrison. He owns Morrison Gallery, where I rented the exhibition space. He was at the party yesterday. Morrison Gallery. I remember that invoice from Maya's studio, $4,500 for 3 months. Kevin called Rachel this morning asking about the rent payments, Maya says. Apparently the check Dad wrote bounced. But that's not the weird part. The weird part is that Kevin says Dad tried to rent the space 6 months ago under his own name, then switched it to mine at the last minute when Kevin mentioned he'd need to run a credit check. Grandma and I exchange looks. Maya, that sounds like money laundering, she finishes. I know. Kevin thinks so too. He's calling his lawyer. After Maya hangs up, Grandma dials a number from memory. Tom. It's Eleanor Chen. Yes, David's grandmother. We need to talk. Today. No, not about the job. About Richard and about $800,000 in stolen money. Tom Brennan. The job opportunity Dad killed, who apparently has Grandma's phone number. Tom's been suspicious about your father's finances for months, Grandma explains after hanging up. Apparently Richard approached him about investment opportunities last fall, right around the time he bought Maya's car. Tom thought the numbers seemed off. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. David, this is your father. We need to talk immediately. Meet me at the office at noon. Come alone. This can all be resolved quietly if you stop involving outside parties. I show the text to Grandma, who immediately takes a photo of it with her own phone. You're not going anywhere near that office, she says firmly. Jennifer's meeting with the FBI this morning, Tom's calling his contacts at the state attorney's office, and I'm driving you to the police station to file a formal complaint. But what about Maya? What if Dad? Maya's safe. And after today, your father's going to have much bigger problems than managing family PR. As I gather up the documents Jennifer provided, I realize yesterday's party wasn't the end of anything. It was just the moment I accidentally uncovered the tip of an iceberg that's about to sink my father's entire world. Sunday, 2:47 p.m. I'm sitting in Detective Sarah Walsh's office at the downtown precinct, watching her flip through Jennifer's documents with the kind of methodical focus that makes my palms sweat. Grandma's in a chair next to me, her purse clutched in her lap like armor. Mr. Chen, Detective Walsh says, looking up from a spreadsheet that shows client account transfers, I need you to understand something. What started as a family financial dispute yesterday has become a federal criminal investigation as of about 3 hours ago. My stomach drops. Federal. The FBI Financial Crimes Unit is already involved. Your father's bookkeeper, Jennifer Martinez, provided evidence this morning of wire fraud, tax evasion, and what appears to be a sophisticated investment scam targeting at least 12 families in the metro area. 12 families. The number keeps growing. Detective Walsh slides a document across her desk. Do you recognize this name? Patricia Hoffman. I scan the paper. It's a client agreement from Dad's firm, dated 18 months ago. No, I don't think so. Mrs. Hoffman trusted your father with her grandson's college fund. $63,000. According to Jennifer's records, that money was transferred to Maya's accounts in 3 separate payments labeled as educational consulting fees. The room starts spinning. Maya's summer in Europe last year, the cultural immersion program that cost $21,000, was paid for with some stranger's grandson's college money. There's also Robert Kim, Amanda Foster, the Gonzalez family. Detective Walsh continues, naming people I've never heard of. All parents who thought they were investing in their children's futures. All of them now facing the same situation you are. Grandma's voice is barely a whisper. How much total? Jennifer estimates $1.2 million over 4 years. Your father's been very careful about spreading the thefts across multiple accounts and timeframes, making it harder to detect patterns. My phone buzzes with another text from Dad. David, I know you're upset, but involving the police will destroy our entire family. Maya's future, your mother's reputation. Think about what you're really doing here. I show the message to Detective Walsh, who immediately photographs it with her phone. That's witness intimidation, she says matter-of-factly. Add it to the charges. Detective Walsh, I start, then stop. I don't even know what question to ask. You want to know if Maya's in legal trouble, she says, reading my expression. The answer is complicated. She's been an unwitting participant in money laundering and tax fraud, but the evidence suggests she genuinely didn't know where the money originated. However, she'll need to cooperate fully with the investigation. My phone rings. Maya's name flashes on the screen, and Detective Walsh nods for me to answer. David, something's happening, Maya says, her voice tight with panic. There are 2 black SUVs outside Dad's office building, and Rachel just drove past our house. There are FBI agents at the front door talking to Mom. Through the phone, I can hear her breathing getting faster. What do I do? Dad's been calling me every 10 minutes. His last voicemail said if I don't meet with him by 4 o'clock, everyone we care about will suffer the consequences. Detective Walsh holds out her hand for my phone. Maya, this is Detective Walsh with Metro PD. Where are you right now? I'm at my friend's house. But David, Dad knows where Rachel lives. He helped me move furniture here last month. Maya, listen carefully, Detective Walsh continues. Do not go anywhere alone. Do not meet with your father. We're sending officers to pick you up for your own protection. After she hangs up, Detective Walsh turns back to me. Your father's office was raided an hour ago. He wasn't there, but agents seized his computers, client files, and banking records. We've also frozen all accounts associated with Chen and Associates pending investigation. What about Mom? She's being questioned as a potential co-conspirator. The evidence suggests she knew about at least some of the fraudulent transfers. Detective Walsh's expression softened slightly. David, I know this is overwhelming, but you did the right thing by speaking up. 12 families are going to get answers because of what you exposed yesterday. As we're leaving the station, Grandma gets a call from Tom Brennan. She puts it on speaker. Eleanor, I've been on the phone with the other accounting firms in town. Richard approached at least 6 of them over the past year, trying to collaborate on client investments. Now we know why. Tom pauses. Also, there's a warrant out for his arrest. He's officially a fugitive. A fugitive. My father, the man who lectured me about fiscal responsibility while stealing money from families across the city, is now running from the FBI. And somewhere out there, he's desperate enough to threaten the people I care about to keep me quiet. Sunday, 6:23 p.m. Maya and I are sitting in the cramped break room of the Metro Police Station, drinking stale coffee from paper cups while Detective Walsh coordinates with federal agents in the next room. Maya hasn't stopped shaking since the officers picked her up from Rachel's house 2 hours ago. I keep thinking about Mrs. Patterson, Maya says suddenly, staring at her untouched coffee. My high school English teacher. She was crying at the party yesterday, remember? But not because of what you said about us. I look up from my phone, where I've been reading news articles about Dad's firm. The local paper already has a story. Prominent accountant sought in $1 million investment fraud. What do you mean? I called her before the police came to get me, Maya continues. I wanted to apologize for ruining the party. But David, she wasn't upset about the family drama. She was upset because she recognized the names Jennifer mentioned. My stomach clenches. Names? The Hoffman family. Patricia Hoffman is Mrs. Patterson's daughter. She was at my graduation party to support me, but her grandson Tommy can't afford college now because Dad stole his money. Maya's voice breaks. I shook hands with the woman whose family I helped destroy, and I had no idea. Before I can respond, Detective Walsh appears in the doorway with a tablet in her hands and a grim expression. I need to show you both something, she says, sitting across from us. We've been monitoring your father's phone since the warrant was issued. He made several calls this afternoon that concern me. She turns the tablet toward us. It shows a call log with timestamps and phone numbers I don't recognize. At 3:42 p.m., your father called Kevin Morrison, the gallery owner who rented Maya's space. He offered Morrison $50,000 to retract his statements about the bounced checks and suspicious rental arrangements. Maya goes even paler. Kevin wouldn't do that, would he? Morrison recorded the call and turned it over to us immediately, Detective Walsh continues. But that's not what worries me most. At 4:18 p.m., your father called your Aunt Jennifer. My heart starts racing. What did he say? Detective Walsh plays an audio clip. Dad's voice fills the small room, distorted but unmistakable. Jennifer, I need you to understand something. David has made some very serious accusations that could destroy innocent people. Your Tesla, for example, the one I helped you finance last year through my business connections. It would be unfortunate if the IRS discovered some irregularities in how that loan was structured. Aunt Jennifer's voice responds, shaky and confused, Richard, I don't understand. What does my car have to do with David's college fund? Everything's connected, Jennifer. Maya's future, David's reputation, your financial security. One phone call from me could unravel a lot of carefully arranged benefits for people we care about. The recording cuts off, leaving the break room in heavy silence. He's threatening family members now, Detective Walsh explains. Trying to create leverage to force you and Maya to recant your statements. This escalates the charges significantly. Maya stands up abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. Detective Walsh, what happens to all the money? The studio, the car, my bank accounts, none of it was ever really mine, was it? Asset forfeiture, Detective Walsh confirms. Everything purchased with stolen funds becomes part of the restitution process. The families your father defrauded will recover what they can, but there won't be enough to make everyone whole. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. David, this is getting out of hand. Meet me at Riverside Park tonight at 10 p.m. Come alone, and we can fix this before anyone else gets hurt. You've always been the smart one, don't let your emotions destroy everyone we love. Dad. I show the message to Detective Walsh, whose expression hardens immediately. He's breaking pattern, she says, already reaching for her radio. Desperate fugitives who start threatening family members don't usually stay rational much longer. As federal agents mobilize around us, I realize Dad isn't just running from the law anymore. He's preparing for one final confrontation that could put everyone I care about in danger. Sunday, 9:47 p.m. I'm wearing a wire and sitting on a bench at Riverside Park, surrounded by FBI agents I can't see but know are there. Detective Walsh's voice crackles through my earpiece. Remember, David, just keep him talking. Don't try to be a hero. Dad emerges from the tree line at exactly 10 p.m., looking like he hasn't slept in days. His usually perfect hair is disheveled, his shirt wrinkled, and there's something desperate in his eyes I've never seen before. Thank you for coming, he says, sitting on the opposite end of the bench. I wasn't sure you would. Maya's safe, if that's what you're wondering, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. Protected by federal agents because her own father threatened her. He winces. I never threatened Maya. I was trying to protect her. Protect all of us. He runs his hands through his hair. David, you have no idea what you've unleashed. A criminal investigation into a man who stole over $1 million. Yeah, Dad, I think I know exactly what I unleashed. It wasn't supposed to happen this way, he says, his voice breaking. The business was struggling after 2020. Clients weren't paying, overhead was crushing us. I borrowed from your college fund temporarily, just to keep the firm afloat until things stabilized. Borrowed? I can't keep the anger out of my voice. You spent my money on Maya's European vacation and called it borrowing. I was going to pay it back. Every penny, with interest. But then more clients needed help, and Maya was finally finding her direction, and you were doing so well on your own. He trails off, probably realizing how pathetic he sounds. So you decided I didn't matter enough to invest in. Dad's head snaps up. That's not true. David, you've always been capable, independent. Maya needed more guidance, more support. I thought I was playing to both your strengths. By stealing from 12 families and committing federal crimes. By trying to keep everyone I loved from suffering. His voice rises, then drops to a whisper. The Hoffman account, the Kim family, the others, they were going to lose their money anyway when the firm went under. At least this way, Maya got opportunities, you stayed in school, and I had time to rebuild. Through my earpiece, Detective Walsh's voice is sharp, he's admitting to the Ponzi scheme. Keep him talking about the other families. What about Mrs. Patterson's grandson, Dad? Tommy Hoffman, who can't go to college now because you spent his money on Maya's art supplies. Dad's shoulders sag. I have a list, David. Every family, every dollar. I was tracking it all, planning to make restitution when the business recovered. The business wasn't going to recover, was it? That's why you started hiding assets in Maya's name. He looks up at me with something that might be pride. You really are the smart one. Yes, I knew the FBI would eventually catch up. I thought if Maya owned the studio, the car, had money in her accounts, at least she'd be protected when everything collapsed. And me? You were going to be fine, David. You're graduating debt-free in 3 weeks, you have job prospects. Because Tom Brennan offered me a position after you tried to sabotage my career. Dad's face crumbles completely. I never meant to hurt you. Any of you. I couldn't watch Maya struggle the way I did when I was young. She's so much like your mother, creative, sensitive, not built for the harsh realities of the world. So you decided I was built for those harsh realities. At 22. David, if we could just explain to the families what really happened, work out payment plans, keep this out of federal court. Dad, stop. I stand up from the bench, and through the darkness I can see agents moving closer. It's over. Maya's cooperating with the investigation. Mom's already given a statement. Jennifer handed over 4 years of evidence. He stands too, and for a moment I think he might run. Instead, he reaches into his jacket pocket, and I hear Detective Walsh's voice shouting through my earpiece, David, get down. But Dad just pulls out an envelope, thick with papers. Bank account numbers, he says quietly, holding it out to me. Offshore accounts where I moved some of the money before I realized how serious this was getting. $300,000 that can go back to the families. I take the envelope with shaking hands. Dad, why didn't you just? Because I'm a coward, David. Because admitting I'd failed meant admitting that Maya's dreams and your education and our family's reputation were all built on lies. He looks directly at me for the first time all night. But you're not a coward. You told the truth when it mattered, even when it cost you everything. Red and blue lights suddenly flood the park as FBI vehicles surround us. Agents emerge from behind trees and playground equipment, weapons drawn but pointed down. Richard Chin, Agent Martinez calls out, you're under arrest for wire fraud, money laundering, and witness intimidation. As they place handcuffs on Dad, he turns back to me one last time. David, I want you to know, I was always proud of you. Even when I was too selfish to show it properly. For the first time in 4 years, I believe he's telling the truth. But it's 4 years too late to matter.